ready, you may remove your hands and you may open your eyes, masters. And the ones who wants to continue doing meditation, you may do so. And once you open your eyes, please have some glass of water, masters. So, masters, I see that yesterday there were few of you who were part of yesterday's session and we were unable to record this one, where we have discussed about the crystals, and at the same time we have discussed about the free will. That if one has experienced that learning or expression of the joy, that one, the same sort of free will, one should be able to give to others as well. And it's quite an important chapter to understand how crystals are functioning for us and how we need to understand about the crystals carefully, and only if we resonate, we have to buy or we have to work with them. If not, it is always better to do meditation just alone. So today we will be discussing about the last 3 chambers, because we have so far discussed about, we were discussing about 35 chambers of the starship. So today the last 3 masters, and in the last 3 we will see what happened is, like, the first 3 chambers is called the incremental learning facility for the elders. And the last 3 areas of the starship are designed for bringing the universal law to civilizations that are entering the 5th dimensional frequency. So masters who are attending again for the first time this session, I wanted to mention that the wisdom is being shared from the book We the Arcturians, which is written by Norma with the help of Betty and Cynthia. So this is the book, masters. I hope everyone are able to see this book. So this is the one. So this is a channeled material. And what happened is that Arcturians are a 5-dimensional beings. So we are 3-dimensional beings, let's say, we humans. And then there are 4D beings, which we call them as Pleiadians or Pleiades. And this Pleiades is a star as well. And then there is another star called Arcturus. And the beings present on the Arcturus star are called Arcturians. So they are the ones who communicate with us telepathically, especially to raise the energies of the Mother Earth. And at the same time, they are here to give us the knowledge that they have acquired from various dimensions as well. And they are here to work us towards this oneness consciousness. So they are such a great masters. They work with complete love. And the ones who are ready to connect with them, they are always there. And majority of them are already working through the dream states. And it has been mentioned clearly that majority of the dreams, we do not remember that we are also participating in the higher tribunal councils as well. So just like we have all sorts of meetings, even all the other dimensional beings also have meetings in the higher states, masters. So that we experience such kind of blissful states when we become completely void. So void means there is utterly no thought at all. In that void state, one will experience, because words cannot even describe the joy that we feel in that void state, masters. And one has to really experience this state. It will all of a sudden, it will come to you, nothing to worry, nothing to put a thought. Our path is like only to do the meditation. We only have to do our job, and everything, it will come to us. Whatever it needs to come, it will come to us. So now, coming back to today's topic, we will be seeing about the last 3 chambers of the starship, because we Arcturians were informing or instructing how these chambers has been designed and how these chambers are working and why it is very much important for them, especially when they travel to Earth, and how they are communicating with us. So now we will see this incremental learning facility for the elders. So what we have seen so far when it comes to the subject elders. So what we have understood is that elders are one of the wisest beings there who gives us directions for the younger ones. And one thing, masters, when it is learning, they only understand of how they are progressing, in the path of learning, but they never judge any soul based on their scores or based on their achievements, because they always believe in oneness, that one person's achievement is an end of the all. Yes, okay. No, I'm just like yesterday, I'm also feeling about the internet connection, all is stable. So yeah. So this area of the ship is reserved for the connection back to the divine wisdom and truth. So this supports only that function, and no one but the elders and the ascended masters are allowed to enter. And it is designed to support the life connection of the liquid light and also nourishment of the soul. It is what you call the holiest places and is likened to a temple on earth plane. And masters, when we call it increment, as I have mentioned, they only focus on how they are progressing. And especially in this chamber, only the wisest of the wisest beings will be there, because to understand of what is happening and how the Terra has to enter into the seventh golden age. And that's what they have been mentioning, that we are all entering into the golden age by traveling together. And that is the era that they hold the records of the entire history, and based on that, they observe what is happening, and according to their observations, they dynamically change their learning patterns and guide to us telepathically. So this is the important thing that we have to understand, masters. And therefore, the positioning, especially of this area, extends its influence to the entire ship from the highest point down throughout the vessel. And this is by design, and this is the way to the truth. So the next chamber is debriefing room for the children of light from Earth. So here they say there are also earthbound ambassadors. So we all have heard throughout these 21 days, throughout the journey of when it has started, that there is also an Atlantis civilization in the past. And in that Atlantis civilization, majority of these dimensional beings have worked enormously for the upliftment, for the betterment of the life on Earth. And they have been sent back to their planets. And again, the term they call the star system as planets, because they say, according to the universal symbolic code, the word planet means home. So home is the place where they feel more secure, and at the same time, there is a lot of progressing towards the higher consciousness, and they all journey together. So for them, home is such a sacred place. So this is one of the reasons they call the star as a planet. So everyone has been sent back to the Arcturians. However, that is why they were very much concerned about our upliftment, about of what we have been doing. And we have to also say that soon we are also transcending into the fifth dimension era, masters. This is for sure. So already now what is happening is fourth dimension is already in place, in the sense, if you have seen any sort of manifestation, if you have a thought, or if you speak something, it is very fastly manifesting. If I have seen, like the moment I came into meditation, and now I can see very greatly how the energies are intensely progressing in everyone and how everything is becoming manifested. So we have to be very careful also in words and in thoughts. And this is what exactly these beings are mentioning, that this is an era of manifestation. And at the same time, we all have to learn also the visualization techniques as well. And in this manifestation process, we will greatly progress. And this is the path towards the fifth dimension. And it is soon going to happen, masters. And here they also mention in the dream state. So now again, coming back to this debriefing room, they were also mentioning that they are here to reawaken the earthbound ambassadors to their mission and journeys on earth. And they are continuously working with them through the dream states. So, and they have been giving the assignments as well to them. So masters, if you think that you have been kept under any sort of examination, or you feel that you are having so many tests, understand that you're under scrutiny, you're under examination, my dear masters. So, you know, understand the situation along with the common sense and take it to the next level. So they say this is a special chamber for etheric conferences with souls who are completing their sections of the plan while serving out earth embodiments. While many of these souls feel isolated on the planet and wander with the feeling that they do not belong to earth, and Arcturians are assuring them in the sessions in this chamber that they are with them and have not deserted them. So try to understand, masters. Many of the wise persons who are enlightened, they feel so much of isolated and say that they do not belong here and they wanted to transcend. And that is not the way. If you're not meant here, then why you will be on planet Earth? Once you're here, there is a purpose. When your learnings are done, you're obviously taken away. You're obviously transcend to different states. So that we don't need to usher at all. That is why here your only purpose again is to meditate and to teach your sharings and to stick to your path. So this is how much they have been also working, even to alter such sort of thought patterns, masters. And this chamber is one which is used to restore these connections as well as to bring into focus further development of the plan. So that is why they say this chamber is also a process for recalling, and that they have to do with utmost love and nurturing, and only wisest souls will be there so that they understand their situation completely in the sense of maybe we will be seeing our patterns only based on our present life and our present conditions or our present experiences. However, these masters transcend beyond time and space, which means they know the past, they know the present, and they know the future. And that is how they will be working with us. So trust them, masters. When they are here, they are always here to guide us. And here they say, whenever one soul is measured to be of the purer heart and is moving on the path of centeredness and alignment, then Arcturians know that Arcturians and the Mother Earth are one step closer to the destiny of peace and harmony in the new age. So what a great thing to see how we are all helping our beloved Terra to raise the vibrations. And then there is the next final chamber, 35th one, which is the chamber for the holistic concept of the universal law. And what happens in this chamber is that now we have been discussing about Arcturians, what are the chambers in the starship, what are even the seventh golden age, and what is the fourth dimension, everything. However, in this chamber, there is no such concept of dimensions as well. Understand, masters, from minute details, how they were entering into the oneness of the entire universe. So in this entire vast universe, there is only oneness. And this is what they say, that here there are only the purest forms, the purest wise beings will be there. And it also contains the range of highest honors to those who surpass the 7th level. It is the proudest of emotions and resonates truth. It is the dimension that awaits the soul or in truth. And Arcturian shrine and chamber is a constant reminder of the purpose for which they serve. And they say that there are no words that are spoken in this chamber. Words in the sense we all know that Arcturians communicate telepathically. However, even telepathic communication also does not exist in this chamber. And there are no dimensional forms. However, they say there is only forms of sound and emotional frequencies of the highest truths that are existing in the universe. So we all know that when we go beyond, the universal language is also some of the sound. So with the sound, entire frequencies changes. And that is why what we hear is also equally important. And that is why the sound is also one of the important factor for us to go to the deeper and deeper states into meditation. And they say these are the truths that thought try to convey to the initiates in Egypt. So Egyptian history is another interesting thing that everyone has to know, masters. We all know about pyramids, but more than pyramids, there is a god called Sekhmet, there is a god called Thoth, and another thing that we have to mention is that all the astrological and zodiac signs came from the Egyptian gods. So if anyone research a bit, you will understand. That is why there is a lot of history mentioned there. And they say that thought tried to convey in the initiates in Egypt. And they are above the manifest plane of the mundane, but once mastered, one can turn the human form into the co-creator of the universe of the love and light. So this is what they were mentioning, that every person can become a part of co-creation in this universe. And once soul becomes this intensity of energy, masters, this is another interesting element. This is where I have kept the concept today, the title, Stepping into Unknown. Please listen with utmost importance. So once soul becomes this intensity of energy, there is nothing in the physical world that appeals to them any longer. That is one of the interpretations that their beloved God tried to convey to the masses when Jesus said that to come with him, they must leave all their earthly attachments behind. For this form of brilliance and happiness cannot be matched in the third dimensional world. And they say, their level of conquering is, however, to bring as many souls as possible who wish to come to this state of nirvana, to this nirvana. So once again, their interpretation of a word does not quite match that in our language. So they are the wisest and they are the most, according to our earthly word, we call them as psychologist masters. They are very good in psychology. So when they say a word, they try to catch that emotion and understand of what is happening. So this is where they say that when we at most be in that state of bliss, then all the worldly pleasures that we have to leave behind, and we will be leaving behind because once we understand the state of bliss, we will always be in that state. And that is nothing but the nirvana. So that is where our path should be. So with this, so masters, if anyone have remembered the name, who was channeling this message is Norma, and with whom she was communicating, like from whom the message has been given is Hedonitic. So he was the person in his previous incarnation, he was a human, and that is why he was able to also translate according to our human terms. And that is the reason why he has been chosen especially to give the information of this starship Athena. So with this, we have concluded this chapter. And in short, we will also see a bit about the training program. So when they have also mentioned about the training program, now we have to understand that another wise being who was communicating with all of us, who is Arturo. So it's the name Arcturus, right? Just like that. Now Arturo. So Arturo, now another interesting concept to all of us is that she is speaking about the northern energies and the ones which is directed towards the north, and also the importance of the food as well. So can anyone tell me what the first thought that we get when we think of north facing is? Can anyone tell what you are resonating? To the north side, aligning to the north side. What could be, masters? What is aligned towards the north side? Top of the head. That's an interesting answer. Nice, Kim Shuk. I think I'm mentioning about the place, and also that we are all preparing, and over our top of the head, we place something and we meditate. What it could be, masters? I'm giving so much of the hints. Pyramids, isn't it? Pyramids are aligned to the north. So we will also be knowing. Before that, there is a two-way dialogue, masters. Here, let us see the question now. So what Dr. Norma was asking is that, Arturo, we gladly give you permission to instruct us in this two-way exchange. We are ready for our instructions. Then Arturo started to mention, now please all close your eyes and try to do this exercise. Please begin by looking north. Please begin by looking north and find a focal point behind your third eye. And find a focal point behind your third eye. You will begin to feel an inward drawn pressure within your heads. When you can feel this, you will know that you are in direct telepathic communication with us. So please proceed now with this instruction. Now recite. So now we don't need to, masters. I think this is what happens when we look in the north and find a focal point between our third eye. We will be having the pressure with our heads. So with this, we are already connected to them. So the next dialogue is actually for Dr. Norma, Betty, and Cynthia, because when they are connected with these beings, they have even did some sort of small experiment, in the form of also by drawing some sort of pictures. That is what we will discuss as well, because there, when they were mentioning, they were also mentioning how the energy vortex is there behind your third eye, because in yesterday's session, we also have discussed about the vortices, about the grid lines and the ley lines. So this is what they have been discussing, and which clearly mentions that they are very much connected with the Arcturians. So now we don't need this part. However, the northern energies, the main experiment they have done is to understand that there is so much energies towards the direction of the north. And that is why they say the northern energies are from where you will secure your power. That is why it is so important for one to meditate only facing the east or the northern directions. And they tell this because you are connected with us in this direction. So we all have understood in the beginning of the chapter, masters, they have, even with their energies, they have turned the crystal. So even Dr. Norma thought this is not like it's like a surprising element to see how the crystals have turned. But however, these crystals have been kept towards the northern angle. And when this angle is inclined in this direction, and when even these people are able to be in that deeper void states, the transmission was simply flowing. And this is where they were also mentioning that in order to communicate or for the wisdom to flow easily, that east and the northern directions are the ones that for them especially it is very much important. That is why even if you see the Buddhist constellation, observe, masters, in which direction it comes. So this Arcturus is in the direction of this Arcturus star is in the Buddhist constellation, and now this is like a kind of test for all of you to observe what is this direction and what happens when you do meditation in such sort of directions. And this is how they have been doing some sort of small minor programming into the people on a collective basis. And they have to tell this first, that before they are proceeding, that first they will ask the permissions and explain, because they could be interfering with our karma and yours as well. So that is why first they take permission. Without the permission of a person, no being, no one, trust me, no one can interfere into that person's patterns or thoughts systems, especially the wisest beings. So every one of you is a wisest master as well. And this is one of the reasons that we all have to understand the freedom here and the free will. So with this, we will be concluding masters here, because the next we will see about, we already have understood about the mastery of the breath, because with this small experiments, they have explained about how we have to open our heart center, and how it is very much important for us to understand, for us to have this mastery of the breath. And because for breath is the only thing that we will be able to be in that state of the all. And then they also inform about the prana and also the food habits, masters. So with this, I will be concluding the session. Thank you all. And if anyone would like to share anything, please you may unmute yourself and go ahead. Thank you all, masters, for connecting with the Arcturians today. And if anyone wants to share anything, please you may do so. Anyone? Thank you, Kimshuk. Thank you, Sureka ji. Thank you. So, if not, I hope you have understood the session, masters. Please, you can also ask the questions as well. Yes, Harta ji.
I am going back and listening the before sessions. I was not attended. The first time when I am listening, I will go into the sleep. The second time when I am listening, I will aware of it and I will listen what it is. I will listen 2-3 times one session. That is how it is happening. So, yeah. So what is the food they will take? No food.
So the food they will take is completely on the liquid light. It's not about them, but they are telling to us what sort of food that we have to take. It's not like what sort of food, but how lighter we have to eat. That is what they will be speaking later.
Oh, okay. Okay. Not about them, about
Not
us.
about us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
But Haritaji, I wanted to ask you one question. So this sort of like repeating the sessions that you are hearing, is it happening for the Arcturians, or usually that happens for every other sessions as well with you?
Not all the sessions. This one is happening like that. See, I am the first time when I am listening, I am going into deep sleep like that, and uh, like that. But the second time I am listening, I am aware of the knowledge. Sometimes I am going that for the third episode I can awake. For the second episode, second session, you said I went into the sleep and I repeated 3 times that one.
But nothing here to judge, Haritaji. The reason why I'm asking is you're perfectly connected with the Arcturians. The reason is that, once again, I'm suggesting when we all read this book, this is the same thing that happens, completely. When I initially have read the book, I was only explained how beautiful the state is, but not even one word I was explained to anyone. So we have to speak this wisest beings channeled material. We have to be completely aligned with them, and then only the words are ushering. Even if I go blank sometimes, it's totally a different energy. So you're completely connected. For this reason, I have asked.
Yeah, and when I'm doing meditation, and when you show me the book, so when I googled and opened in the book, the energies are coming. When I in the phone, from phone also I am getting the energies. So I can say that
Thank you.
by
Thank you.
seeing that book also I can feel the energies.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, Hartaji. Thank you.
Thank
So masters don't have high expectations on the food. It's very simple concept, because I'm seeing the chat here. What Arcturians were mentioning, maybe in a nutshell, I will explain because of the curiosity everyone is having already. In simple terms, they say that our planet is a water-based planet, which means the lighter the food is, which means that is the best for us. So the other factors we will, what they have described and all, we will be discussing, we will discuss in tomorrow's session. So the lighter the food, the better it is for the digestive system, the better for the humans. And they say it is particularly because ours is also a water-based planet. So don't have very high expectations that they have mentioned clearly. I think already in the previous sessions itself, they have mentioned 3 things: that animal consumption, sugars, and the white foods like refined flours or something, these are already very harmful to the humans. They have already mentioned that part in the previous sessions. Here now, they will be discussing only about the energy patterns of how we will be and how we will be raising our vibrations, when we are with the lighter food, and what is happening on the other side. So thanks a lot, masters, for everyone having that curiosity. I see that every one of you are interestingly, trying to understand and grasp this wisdom. So yeah, sleepiness happened to me also for Balagaru. Yes, Balaji. It is for everyone. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yes, Harta Garu, you wanted to share anything? Okay.
Nothing, that was the before one.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all, masters. With this, we will end the session, and see you all for tomorrow's session. Thank you all. Thank you. Namaste, masters. Thank you all.